Good morning. Hi, I'm Raleigh Brown. This is another curve flattening concert. Keith Shaw is the first man in, followed soon by Pam Zappardino and the visible David Harleyson and Rhonda Scott Merrick. Welcome aboard, folks, and Bob McKenna and Kathy Marzik and Ann Mintz and Donna Bergman, who I think is in Florida. And I welcome you all here this morning, and maybe we'll start out with a little coffee-oriented cloink. Here's to good coffee and good fellowship, good friends, both real friends and two-dimensional friends. Who are also real in their own way. And got some songs for you this morning. So I usually like to wait until a few people get here, praying that they'll show up. My buddy Charlie Bryant is here, and Bernd Bookman over in Germany, and Kate Mack, another of the Visibles, and Rhonda Scott Merrick. And good to see you guys this morning. And Rhonda Scott Merrick says we're 3D. Well, you are and you aren't sometimes. And Carol Pratt and Donna Greenberg are here, and Karen Beatty, my good friend over there, hopefully in New Jersey this week. And Mike Verbeek. I saw part of that interview that Mike Verbeek, if you go on the Denizens page, Mike did an interview, I guess, last year about kind of I guess it's the Cleveland music scene he's talking about, or Northeast Ohio. And it was interesting to hear him talk about a bunch of people I never heard of, because I was out of there many years before any of this transpired. But it's a good interview. And Heidi McClure and Jerry are here. And last week on the road, they're in Skiatook, Oklahoma, which means that they're seeing our buddy Lucy Weberly. And Howard Hobbs is here, and Nancy Lefton. Hi, Nancy. And Slim Edelman and Rich Laughlin. So good to see you all. Let me do a song, and then I'll do some more gabbing with you guys. This is my original for today. In the mornings I walk and I cry. The world is a beautiful place. I'm moved by the lives passing by. The world is a beautiful place. When I was young, a wild girl graced my bed. The world is a beautiful place. It was rapture and joy that she spread. The world is a beautiful place. But her wild heart led her away. The world is a beautiful place. She was too incandescent to stay. The world is a beautiful place. And one night when I felt so alone, the world is a beautiful place. She arrived like a wraith at my door. The world is a beautiful place. And her love was so fierce on that night. I never saw her again. For a while her brilliance blessed my life, and I think of her still now and then. And the mornings I walk and I cry. The world is a beautiful place. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. So I see a bunch of other people here. Let me do a quick check-in. There's people I want to talk to. Margot Lemieux, good to see you, and Ken Nashif, and got another bivalent booster yesterday. I'm wondering about that myself. And Michael Tierson is here. Thank you, Michael, and Steve Davidson, and John Hubner, and Charlie Ortolani, and Bunny Barnes over there in Iceland right now, and Tommy sends love. That's great to hear. And Bunny, I heard you play Never Never Land yesterday, and I thought, you know, I haven't played that in a while, so I'm going to play that today. So we can do a duet. And Deb Leiby Clark is here, and Michael Miller down there in North Carolina. And Lori Payne, and I think I said hi. Oh, Jim Moore is here. So if Jim Moore and John Hubner are here, the oldest parts of my past are present. Jay Peterson is in Maine, and Brian Kuiper up there in northeastern Indiana, I think, and like that. So here's some things I want to talk about. I'm glad Ken Nashif is here, because Ken is a big J200 fan. This is a Gibson J200, and I thought I would talk a little today about how this all happened, how I became a guitar player. Right after I get in tune. There we go. So I somehow fell in love with the guitar when I was about 3 years old, and I don't know how it happened. I know who I remember seeing first on TV was Chet Atkins, and he used to be on the Arthur Godfrey show, the Dave Garroway show, one of those morning live talk shows, and they'd have him on there, and he'd show up and play something, and I don't know what did it for me, but I just I glommed onto it from the earliest age, and I'm going to play a Chet tune today, so that's also part of the deal here, and then the next guitarist who really grabbed me, and this was in a much more social way as well as musical or whatever it was that grabbed me, mythological, was the Everly Brothers. Now, the Everly Brothers, when they started out, they played twin J200s. And this is actually a J200 Junior, which is a smaller version of the J200. But I fell in love with J200s unbeknownst to me when I first saw the Everly Brothers, and it was years later when I discovered that Reverend Gary Davis played a J200, and that Dave Van Ronk at that time played a J200, and that Eric Anderson played a J200, and then later Emmylou Harris played a J200. All these people played this iconic-looking guitar, and this is kind of the quintessential American guitar. It's the opposite of the Martin, which was very plain looking and kind of unobtrusive, although great sounding. And then you had this garish, fancy pickguard and the inlays and the mustache bridge and all this stuff. That's kind of like, it's like a Cadillac was in the 60s, this huge guitar with fins almost. But regardless of that, I kind of fell in love with it. And so when I finally did take up the guitar, it was my goal to get a J200. And and when I took up the guitar, I never thought that I would become I had no idea about, geez, I'll be a performer. I just loved the sound of it, and I loved the look of it, and it was sexy, and it was iconic, and it was just the thing, And then Elvis, of course, came along, and he helped accelerate that feeling, playing both the J200 and Old Martins. So he had his finger on the pulse there. So that's how I got started. And then somewhere along the road, I think when I was in college was when I first really started playing open mics and stuff like that. Which, yes, they were called hootenannies at the time. Anyhow, here's a Chet tune written by J.D. Loudermilk. Windy and Warm, written by J.D. Loudermilk for Chet Atkins. He wrote that specifically for Chet, to write him a jazzy tune. So I was putting together my set list this morning, and I thought, well, I want to use the Martin for the drop D tune, The World is a Beautiful Place. I will have to use the Gibson because I'm playing a couple Gary Davis tunes. And then I thought, well, I'm going to play Pancho and Lefty. I should really play that on the Eastman. And then, so I had this vision. I'm going to use all, like 3 or 4 guitars. I was going to get them all out and line them up over here and be able to go get them. And then I started thinking, this Gibson is a pretty big guitar. It sounds pretty good in drop D. Maybe I'll just put it in drop D and I can use it for The World's Beautiful Place. And I thought, Windy and Warm wouldn't sound bad with the J200. It would sound pretty good too. So that's another one. And then I thought, well, I sat down and played Never Never Land, and it sounded okay with the J200. And then that just left Pancho and Lefty, which, Townes Van Zandt played a J200 for a good part of his career. So I thought, nah, one guitar, e pluribus unum. So here we are. Well, I woke up this morning about 4:30. The hesitation blues was knocking at my door. Tell me how long must I wait? Where can I get you now? Or must I hesitate? Well, I'm standing on a corner with $1 in my hand. I'm looking for a woman who's looking for a man. You tell me how long must I wait? Well, can I get you now? Or must I hesitate? Well, a nickel is a nickel, and a dime is a dime. I got a house full of children, and ain't none of them mine. Tell me how long must I wait? Well, can I get you now, or must I hesitate? You know, the eagle on $1 says, in God we trust. The woman says she wants a man, but she wants to see that dollar first. Tell me how long must I wait? Well, can I get you now, or must I hesitate? Now if the river was whiskey and I was a duck, you know, I'd dive to the bottom. I don't believe I ever would come back up. Tell me how long must I wait? Well, can I get you now, or must I hesitate? Now you know I ain't no doctor's son. I could kill a few cases till the doctor comes. Tell me how long must I wait? Where can I get you now, or must I hesitate? Sing it, Miss Gibson. I ain't never been to heaven, but I've been told St. Peter taught the angels how to do the jelly roll. Tell me how long must I wait? Or can I get you now, or must I hesitate? Well, I woke up this morning about 4:30. The hesitation blues was just a knocking at my door. Tell me how long must I wait? Well, can I get you now, or must I hesitate? The Hesitation Blues, and that's from the great Jelly Roll Morton, but the guitar version of it was the Reverend Gary Davis, one of the great men I had the good fortune to meet in my life, and that's him right back over my shoulder there in that photograph. That photograph was given to me by my friends Skip Staples and Mike Maddox, Maddox, not to be confused with the other Mike Maddox. And those two were known as the Twisted Pair. It had something to do with DNA, I think. So some announcements for you today. There is a PayPal link right there. There aren't that many Invisibles left, and I'm going to have a talk with that Kit Serikaku about how we can fix her up with being visible. She's one, and Judith Fox is invisible still. And as far as I know, Joel Biget and Mario Prue. I'm not sure about Mike Stillman. David Harleyson is no longer invisible. And Bill Rubenstein is no longer invisible. So we're hacking away at the Invisibles. I've already done most of my talking about J200s and Chet Atkins and the Everly Brothers. All the things that got me into the guitar in the first place. God help me. And I did notice Ken Nashif said, how could you possibly think about selling that? And it's a good question. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell it or not. But when I get it out like this and start playing it, I go, wow, this is a great guitar. And I'm thinking that, and then also thinking, yeah, but I have like 5 other great guitars, and I have one more coming. What am I doing with all these guitars? And I'm growing old, so they're gonna end up living longer than me, and they should be in the hands of good players. So anyhow, some more people coming in here, I think. These are mostly people who already said hi. I said hi to Heidi and Jerry and Slim Edelman. And yeah. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Well, there are going to be more people. Lori Payne is here. I have a busy day today. I have a lot of running around to do, so I shouldn't spend too much time talking because I want to get these tunes in. Kate Petrella, hi Kate. And Ken Delancey, hey buddy. And Jim Moran, I just sent somebody a picture of Shelby. I sent my friend Russ Leisenheimer a picture of Shelby as the cutest dog in the world. And Cal Landau is here, Steve Davidson, I think I said hi to. And there's Skip Staples himself, who's responsible for that picture. Half responsible, irresponsible, but responsible. And Bill Rubenstein is here. He's not invisible. And Linda Worcester is here. She's not invisible. And Ken Nashif says he got his J200 after watching Gary Davis. That would do it for you. That's about all it would take. And Rita Layden is here. Hi, Rita. Maybe Chris is there with her. And Aisling Bain. Boy, lots of friends here. Ellen O'Brien. I fell behind on the names here, and I'm trying to catch up. Rich Fowler is here. And Jeff Blumenthal. Alex Bevan, my buddy. Alex and I used to have a friendly argument over whether Martins or Gibsons were better. And for the most part, I have to say now, Alex was right. You heard it here first. And but there are great Gibsons too. So what are you going to do? And Cal Lando says at least 4 Kent Staters here. Yeah, we get people from all walks of my life showing up here. So today is me. Tomorrow, Monday, I'll be on at 3 o'clock. Tuesday, I believe Cozy Sheridan and Charlie Koch will be on at 10:30 a.m. And then I'll be back Wednesday, and then we'll talk about the future beyond then. And like that. So Ken Ashif said he first got a J200 after hearing Reverend Gary Davis play one, and this is a Reverend Gary Davis tune that I learned from the great man himself. Alex says he owns a Gibson J45 that stacks up against his D28. See, that's the thing, is that, and it's really more about the player than it is about the instrument. You can see Charlie the dog just lopped around behind me there. He's right back there. You can see parts of him. Charlie, we're going to try and get Charlie to the vet again on Tuesday. I have many drugs to give him to try to get him on serious downers before we go. And we'll see how that works out. He needs vaccinations, and I'd love to get his nails clipped and other stuff too. So from the Reverend Gary Davis, the tune is called Buck Dance. Buck Dance by the Reverend Gary Davis. There's a lot of people are writing some long stuff things here. I'm not going to have time like usual to read this right after because I have a guitar lesson and my buddy Beth is coming over to play some gypsy jazz tunes with me. But I will get to it later this evening. So I should mention to people, if you leave a comment here, and a lot of times I may have a response to it if it's something I don't see during the show. So you can come back and look at the comments later in the day. What I always do is click on comments, and then I click on newest, so they're in order of how recently somebody has commented. Just saying. Okay, so onward and upward. We're actually doing okay time-wise here. And Mike Verbeek says, love those RGD tunes. Yeah, meeting Reverend Gary Davis was such a transformative experience for me as a guitarist. It totally changed the way I thought about the guitar and led to me studying with other people who... or at least studying the work of other people who played the guitar like a piano. instead of just playing lines. So, or strumming. So, this one, as I promised, Bunny played it the other night in a live performance. And now I will play it for you in an equally live performance. Although not in front of a live audience. Just you guys, my friends. Never Never Land. So let me have a little coffee here. So I'm just sorry, I shouldn't be this quiet. I'm just taking a quick look. I don't think Helene Tober Fowler is here. I hope She is having her thing rescheduled, I believe. Bunny says people loved it at the open mic. That's good. Susan Douglas is here in the house, and thank you, Bunny. Okay, so thank you all for joining me. Somebody requested a Townes Van Zandt song, and I guess this is my favorite Townes Van Zandt song, and there's a lot of people who don't even know who Townes Van Zandt is, and it's their favorite Townes Van Zandt song. Living on the road, my friend, is gonna make you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye, and sank into your Pancho was a bandit, boy. His horse was fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his belt for all the honest world to feel. They say he met his end, you know, on the deserts south in Mexico. No one heard his dying words. That's the way it goes. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They just let him go that way. Out of kindness, I suppose. And Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south, it ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Oh, there ain't nobody knows. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go that way. Out of kindness, I suppose. Now the poets tell how Pancho fell. Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold. So the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true. Save a few for Lefty too. He just did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go that way. Out of kindness, I suppose. As some gray federales say, they could have had him any day. They just let him go that way. Out of kindness, I suppose. Pancho and Lefty by Townes Van Zandt. And Carol Predge says she never heard of him until she started listening to these concerts. Carol, you should go on YouTube and just do a search for him. You spelled his name right. I think that's totally correct. And listen to some tunes. There's just, I mean, I think he wrote about 90 tunes in his somewhat shortened life, but man, there's some brilliant tunes on there. Beautiful stuff. So thank you for joining me. I saw my buddy Jackie Damsky stop in here. Hi, Jackie. And I thank you all for listening. I will come back later and read all your comments, and you might get some replies from me. Usually polite ones, sometimes snarky ones. I admit it, I have my faults. So be happy and be healthy. Be brave and be calm. Be kind, it's a snap. And if you get cranky, as my friend Alex Bevan would tell you, he should know, take a nap. Have a great day. I hope to see some of you tomorrow. Actually, I hope to see all of you tomorrow, every single one of you. But if I don't, I'll see you some other time. And much love to you all.